Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, but also kind of related. Celebrity stands. Because I did that recent video shredding Demi Lovato's frozen yogurt. Can you believe we're even living in a time we have to say Demi Lovato's frozen yogurt apology, fiasco, backlash? Like, what a time to be alive. But what stood out to me and what you guys pointed out was like, what is wrong with her fans? Like, her fans, we said in that video, were like going to this Yelp page of this poor fucking frozen yogurt shop and like 1 star, bad Yelp review, 1 star. And Demi is the shitbird for not being like, you guys, cool it. We're not trying to ruin a small business in a pandemic, okay? Just knock it off. I mean, on one hand, maybe she shouldn't have to, like, she doesn't control what these lunatics do. But she doesn't not influence what they do. And some of us started talking in the comment section on that video of like, what are her fans like? Who are these manic fans of hers? Because Demi was popular when like 10 years, let's say like 10 years ago was like the Demi Lovato heyday. There was Camp Rock and the Jonas Brothers and all this stuff. Aren't those fans kind of old by now? Like, early 20s at the absolute youngest? What are these people thinking? What are the Britney Spears stans doing that are protesting outside a courthouse for her conservatorship hearings? What are Selena Gomez fans doing posting people's addresses on the internet? What is happening out there? Well, I am going what are her fans doing? What are Britney Spears' weird fans doing, like protesting her conservatorship outside a courthouse? Are you guys doctors? Honey, I don't even think you're allowed to work the fries at McDonald's, okay? You can't even be trusted with that responsibility. You're not a licensed clinical professional. I'm not either, but I'm also not protesting a medical diagnosis for someone I've never met. How about that? What makes Selena Gomez fans try to attack Hailey Baldwin and like not be able to accept that like Selena and Justin are not together anymore and haven't been for the better part of a decade? What is going on inside the minds of these people? I mean, do all of us sort of have the capability to become these bizarre celebrity super fans? Do you feel yourself drifting into like this like weird intensity? There's actually a lot of studies that have been done about this. It's something called celebrity worship syndrome. Now, I hate using like syndrome, like because then people like, I have a diagnosis. Bitch, premenstrual syndrome. PMS is also a syndrome. It's not an excuse for being a complete asshole all the time. Believe me, I wish it was because I get it so bad. But it's not. But we're going to break down really the ins and outs of what this is, why people get like this, shred these people along the way, because we cannot continue to live in a culture where people can behave like this. I'm sorry, but we can't. So yeah, I think we were all collectively very disappointed in Demi Lovato's like insane fandom. And like we've just seen examples of insane fandom so much. Like, do you remember when Justin Bieber posted, he like reposted something that like dumpy chick from fucking England posted about like, now's our time, we've got to go attack Hailey, she's doing a live tomorrow with bare minerals, we've got to destroy her. And Justin was like, rah! It's people who couldn't accept that him and Selena Gomez are no longer together, and they have not been together for several years. Now, on one hand, right, I'm a public figure, I have fans, I've got fan groups. Go to the Shalligator Reddit thread. It's not a fan group, but it's an amazing collection of all my little Shalligators talking and sharing stories and getting advice from each other. It's just a super sisterhoody collaborative place. It's great. And I'll admit, I love a good ardent fan. I love a ride or die fan. Who doesn't, right? I mean, especially when you're in this business, when there's a lot of people saying a lot of shit about you, to have people who are like, rah, like we're the sword and the shield, we're going to defend you. It's like, okay. If I ever catch my girls doing something that I feel is untoward, like attacking a business, randomly attacking someone who has never attacked us, because this is the thing, Shalligators don't start fights, but we will finish them. Keep that in mind. So if you come against us, if you start to attack us, I will absolutely yay say any of the tactics my girls take to shut you down. Don't start it, and there won't be it. It's pretty simple. Anyway, that's my point. It's natural to have people to want to be yay say, right? It's very, very natural, but it can turn very toxic. But like, why? Why? Well, there's some studies on this. There have been, the guy kind of coined the term of celebrity worship syndrome. He's done some studies, and he created this scale, like this continuum from like most benign to like really, 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 really bad about people's attitude towards celebrity. Now, in these studies, they interviewed adults, which I don't think is exactly the best thing, because when we all, before we get into the study, we should talk about this. A lot of us love celebrities. I mean, look what we talk about on this channel. We talk about celebrities. So I'm not going to like wag my finger at someone who has like a celebrity crush. I've always had celebrity crushes. And every generation has like the Bieber face. Every generation, whether it's like, oh gosh, who was it when in like the 50s? It was like David Cassidy or something. It's always a very like fresh face, non-threatening, usually blonde, always white, kind of girly looking, like tween heartthrob, teeny bopper heartthrob. This is because like young girls, like tweens, they're intimidated by super manly men. Like a girly looking boy is very palatable. It's very accessible. It's like, he looks kind of like me, but maybe a little bit masculine. Like 11-year-old girls aren't like Jason Momoa. Like, no. And I remember when I realized that Jason Momoa was like my heartthrob, because I'm like, I finally grown up. I typically have always liked very, not typically, but like for a long, long time, I like very sort of non-threatening looking boys, like shorter boys, like more fine featured, a lot of times European. I think it's because I was intimidated by men for a really long time. I grew up with only women. Like I'm just, you know, it was a lot for me. And once I got comfortable around guys and I understood how they worked and like how easy they were to manipulate, they're so dumb. Then I'm like, all right. Now I want the manly men. And I like me truly moving to Montana and being like, oh, I want a manly man in a truck and he can kill an elk and rah. I'm like, I have finally reached like the pinnacle of my maturity, or as high as I can expect it to get, because it might not get any better from here. So I digress. So it's natural for us to have celebrity worship. In fact, it's a leftover of evolution, because we are social creatures, right? We're tribes people. And in a tribe, it was healthy and good for you to admire someone higher on the food chain than you, someone who embodied something that you wanted to be or was necessary to the survival of the tribe. A good hunter, an elder who was wise. Hey, let's not move the tribe over there. There's no water. I know because I've been there, right? That was helpful and useful. Now, we don't need our elders to tell us where the water is. We can go to the grocery store to hunt. And yet we have that leftover of celebrity because we still are very social creatures. And usually celebrities embody something social that we want. Put a pin in that. We're going to get back to that. But let's talk about this scale, right? This is carried out in the early 2000s by a researcher named Lynn McCutcheon, like anybody cares, but just being thorough. And I also think like in the early 2000s, like they should keep updating this, because truly celebrity culture is at a zenith now. We're in click refresh content, culture. I've said before that I think cancel culture was created by the Daily Mail. I said this in an interview with this chick, Sarah Fraser. Hi, Sarah. Go check out her podcast. She's amazing. But so when I worked at Star, and I was on the print side, right? So I wasn't even working online, where it was like breaking news and you got to be the first, get it up, break the news. First Google result, we were like, man, I'll see you Monday. Boop. But I watched the digital teams go through this, and they were trying to keep pace at Star, Us Weekly, Life and Style, because we owned all those. They were trying to keep pace with the Daily Mail, which was almost impossible, because the Daily Mail had offices not just in New York, Shanghai, Paris, LA, Melbourne. They had offices everywhere. So when news broke, there was always someone awake. And so what typical online posting was, like 5 articles a day, suddenly could become 30, because they had so many offices around the world. And so we were all just in click refresh culture because the audience, people consuming all this content, basically hate their fucking jobs. Like when you get into it, they hate their jobs, they hate being in class, they're like refresh. So it's like content, more. And so there simply is not that much happening. I mean, there's not that many pregnancies, there's not that many DUIs, there's not that many divorces. Like there is not 30 interesting pieces of celebrity behavior every day. There's only so many celebrities, right? And so what these writers at the Daily Mail and Us Weekly and everything started to do to get their bosses off their back, who was just breathing down their neck, they started going through Twitter. What's trending? What's this hashtag mean? Let me just type in a celebrity and see what people are saying. And that's when we get this backlash against Chloe's and backlash against Anthony Hopkins winning an Oscar. Blah. Because then the writers are like, I have a story. Okay, I can take 3 tweets that I see. No one's asking me how many times people are talking about this. It doesn't fucking matter. They're just seeing the headline. I can take these 3 tweets, embed them, like pound out some bullshit, put it live. My boss will leave me alone for 35 minutes so I can go and get my sad salad from the bodega and just have a slice of life to myself before the cycle starts all over again, right? This is how we get cancel culture. And therefore, this is how we get stan culture, because they are inextricably linked, right? Whenever you have someone who's getting canceled, there's a fandom on the other end. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, right? It's people going head to head. All the shit that Hailey Baldwin gets, it's from Selena fans. Miley Cyrus herself has said, whenever I wake up in the morning and I see shitty headlines about myself or shitty tweets, it's always from a username with Lovato or Gomez at the end. It's weird fan groups. Why? Well, let's go to the study. So there's 3 dimensions of celebrity worship. From most benign to really, really bad. So the first one, entertainment social. It's called entertainment/social. This means the entertainment social dimension relates to attitudes where individuals, why do people say the word individuals? Can I not just say people? You ever notice in cop shows, this individual, can you not just say this person? I'm sorry. It's bothered me for a long time. The entertainment social dimension relates to an attitude where people are attracted to a celebrity because of their perceived ability to entertain and to become a social focus of conversation with like-minded others. So basically, we admire something about them, right? I'm gonna keep going. Number 2. So this is the middle of the scale, right? Like, not great. We're getting into very not great territory. Yeah, no, this is actually very not great. This is really bad. The intense personal dimension. Intense personal. So first we had entertainment social, then intense personal. Relates to people that have intensive and compulsive feelings about a celebrity. Notice they didn't say positive feelings, right? Selena fans are not just intense personal about Selena. They're intense personal about Hailey. They're intense personal about Justin. They're intense personal about Sophia Richie because he dated her too, right? They have these parasocial, which is like social adjacent feelings toward the celebrity. Now we get into the really bad. Borderline pathological. The borderline pathological dimension relates to people who display uncontrollable behaviors and fantasies relating to a celebrity. There is a correlation between the pathological aspects of this syndrome and poor mental health, high anxiety, depression, high stress levels, increased illness, and poor body image. Overwhelmingly, people who are obsessed with celebrities have a very poor body image. Interesting. Out of 3,000 people, 1% demonstrate obsessional tendencies. That's 30. 30 people out of 3,000. How many people at your high school? Mine, there was 2,000. So figure 20, right? Can you think of 20 people at your high school who are like way too into BTS or insane over Shawn Mendes, right? Like insane over him. Okay. But about 14% out of those 3,000 said they would make a special effort to read about their favorite celebrity. That doesn't seem so bad. And to socialize with people who shared their interest. That's weird. Remember, these were adults that they surveyed. These were adults, not 15-year-olds. It's like, oh my God, do you like Shawn Mendes? I do too. That's like pretty natural when you're a teenager. Like you want to like bop out to the car. Like very few like teens who love country music are like hanging with the thrash metal crowd. That's simply just not how it goes. We gravitate, especially in adolescence, towards like-minded individuals because being part of a tribe and social inclusion is so important. We are not going to deviate. We're going to find our people, wriggle down in there. But an adults usually don't feel this way. I love Shawn Mendes. So notice I keep using an example. I love Shawn Mendes. I have no real idea if my friends do. Yeah, I don't know. I assume they feel like fine about him, but I've never brought it up because that's really weird. That's really, really weird. That's really weird. Okay. But 75%, and I'm aware that these percentages do not add up to 100. I don't know what the other 10%. 75% of the population that they surveyed don't take any interest at all in celebrities' lives. Generally, the vast majority of people will identify a favorite celebrity, but don't say they read about them or think about them all the time. Like most things, the researcher said, it's fine as long as it doesn't take over your life. So what kind of people are these celebrity fans? Oh, so glad you asked. People who worship celebrities for entertainment and social reasons. Remember, that's the very first category, entertainment, social, right? We're more optimistic, outgoing, and happy. You know when I talk about confidence? Fake it till you make it. Zip yourself into the celebrity suit. That's my number one advice. If you haven't watched my videos on confidence, I have a whole playlist. But overall, my advice is pretend you're playing someone who embodies confidence. Pretend you're playing them in a movie or a play, right? For me, when I go into social situations, it's Kourtney Kardashian. And I've said because like she's older, but she hangs out with younger people. Same with me. I mean, just like, not even like in real life. I guess in real life because I'm pretty immature. But sometimes like I'll walk into a club. I don't go to clubs often, but if I do, I'm like, oh my God, I don't belong here. Blah. I'm like not in this phase of my life. And I'm like, hey, neither is Kourtney. She's not out at clubs every night. But if she does go, she has a good time. She doesn't focus on how she's different. She's just like, I am the view. The party has arrived. What do you bring to the table? I am the fucking table. Like she has that attitude and like, yeah. So I zip myself into the Kourtney suit. For some of you guys, it might be someone completely different. Maybe it's even me. I need to think this. And that's okay. When we're doing that for entertainment, social, I admire Kourtney's social fluidity. Someone might admire someone's lack of stage fright, their presence, their eloquence, whatever it might be. That's good. Then when we can look at that and be like, I admire that, we fuse that to ourselves in a healthy way and we become outgoing, energetic, confident, social, all positive things. But not everyone's doing that. People who had the intense personal, remember that was category number 2, or borderline pathological, yikes, were shown to be depressed, anxious, solitary, impulsive, antisocial, and my favorite, troublesome. You are troublesome. Such like a randomly like awesome burn. Like you are troublesome. I love it. But look at the behavior those celebrity stans exhibit online. When you think of like Demi's fans one starring that frozen yogurt shop, yeah, that's impulsive, troublesome, like all of these things, depressed, anxious, solitary, impulsive. Yeah. If you know a celebrity stan, if they go to your school, if one of your friends, you're like, yeah, no, that's her, right? That's him. That all tracks. Why? For lack of a better term, these celebrities are a horcrux. They're a horcrux. We talk a lot about hurt lockers, right? And we talk about hurt lockers If you guys are new to this channel, a hurt locker is the name I give to a guy in whom we store our hurts. And it's not even just hurts, it's our vision of what we want. And it's very easy to view a hurt locker, which is like a guy we had a crush on, someone we dated, someone we're obsessed with, a celebrity hurt locker, Shawn Mendes, as someone we want to date. I love him, I'm obsessed with him. But actually, a hurt locker, when we break it down, is not always someone we want to date. It's someone we want to be. Going back to Shawn Mendes, I love him. But when I look at all of my hurt lockers, Shawn, my hockey ex, William, my other ex, who I just finally got over, they are all remarkably similar. They have very, very similar personalities. They are soft-spoken, incredibly high-achieving, hardworking, and humble. I am none of these 4 things. Well, I'm pretty fucking high-achieving. But I wasn't always, which is why I was imprinting on these guys. And when I imprinted on them, actually, if I look at it, well, that's crazy. If I look at it, it was always at career low points, as I deemed low points. Hockey X, like, it was right before my TV show got picked up, right? And so I was like, what am I doing? I've sacrificed my whole career dumping into this show. Was this smart? William was right after I got divorced and my life felt out of control. And I was like, meh. Even Shawn Mendes, when I loved his music the most, it's when I was really over Star. I was really over it. And I just didn't have the guts to like go for it and become a YouTuber. So it's interesting that during all those like ego dips in my life, I hurt lockered / horcruxed onto these dudes. Do you know what a horcrux is? If you don't, if you're not a Harry Potter obsessive like I am, Team Slytherin. Anyway, a horcrux is objects in which you store fragments of your soul. Like Voldemort, the bad guy, like broke his soul into pieces to create his own immortality and stored pieces of his soul in, like, I don't know, an old boot and a necklace and whatever the fuck else it was. And I feel like these celebrity stans are doing that too. There's something about those celebrities who either remind them of themselves, but like a turned up Technicolor perfect world. If I had amazing parents and a perfect body, blah, 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 I could be Hailey Baldwin. If I just, I'm so close. You know, Demi's family reminds me of my family, and that's why I'll defend her for the rest of my life. There's something beyond the talent, beyond the celebrity status that people are imprinting on. My friend Jacques, who runs an amazing podcast called Unpopular Opinions, go check it out. I was a guest on there. He's fantastic. He's like, we were talking about Britney Spears, like we were DMing, and he's like, did you see people were trying to cancel you on Twitter for that? I was like, like the Britney fans. I was like, no, you know why? I was on a yacht in Mexico. Like, that's why I didn't see, because I'm out living my life. But what do we know about these stans now? Antisocial, loners, impulsive, fucking losers. Those Britney fans were saying things like, she saved my life. Because of her, I felt confident. Because of her, I felt seen. Because of her, I felt heard. Okay, great. When I think back on the celebrity or the whatever that I would say that about, it would be My Chemical Romance. I was a diehard My Chem fan. I mean, I still am. Frank Iero, daddy, ultimate daddy. Or Fall Out Boy. I loved Fall Out Boy because I loved Pete as a writer. And still to this day, if people ask me who my favorite writer is, I always say Pete Wentz. Always. You know, I love books. I love novels. But like, if you give someone 400 pages to beat around and around the bush before getting to a point or tugging at your heartstrings, all right. You give someone 4 minutes, rhyming couplets, and they just can make you feel heard, seen, understood, putting a voice to feelings that maybe you didn't have a voice for. You get it. But like this researcher said, it's like anything else, it can't veer out of control. Or it becomes something very toxic and destructive, right? It becomes the Horcrux. I need Demi to succeed because she's got all of me. Like, I've paid my emotional bank to her. She's got my entire emotional investment. It's all on you, Demi. I don't know. It's very strange. It's very strange, and it's very, very, very unhealthy. And I think so many people are so deeply miserable that, like, It's like, have you guys already just given up? Have you just given up? It's like, hey, I'm never going to be anything, so loving One Direction is like all I got, right? I mean, I've loved celebrities, but I've never, I know this sounds crazy, but it's like, I'll meet you there. I'll get there soon. You know, like it would inspire me because I had entertainment social. I was not borderline pathological. I didn't have obsessive, uncontrollable feelings about like any celebrity. And that, I think, is truly the gift of narcissism. I mean, it is. It insulates you from that kind of thing. Being a little bit narcissistic is the antidote to this. It's like, yeah, I mean, I like Shawn Mendes, but I'm not gonna like focus my life on his life. I'm gonna go out and live my life. I'm gonna be on that yacht in Mexico, you know, so when people say something bad, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm waiting for my spicy skinny margarita from the chef who was flown in from Spain from his Michelin star restaurant, which is true. And I'm sorry, I'm riding around in these bulletproof Escalades. Also true. So what do you do if you feel like you're veering into like, like I feel myself getting crazy about a celebrity? I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys privately. If you guys, like I said, want to go to my website, shallonlester.com, and submit a question, I answer you. But I've gotten a lot of questions like, I am like obsessed with Chris Pine or whatever it is, to the point where I compare every guy I date to him. And I really just feel like I need to meet him. How can I slide into this like British footballer's DMs, blah, 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 blah. Look, I met a lot of celebrities. I've dated a lot of celebrities. To some people, maybe I even am one. Not to my mom. Like, it takes a lot to impress her. Celebrities are like normal people, but worse. But worse, okay? First of all, you have to ask yourself, what kind of person wants to be famous? A narcissist. I mean, basically, you know? And if you're looking at an actor, oh, Jesus Christ, the neuroses, the selfishness, they're unbearable. Musicians are the same, but adding a layer of creativity, which is hard because you're like, oh, no, that's great. Well, it is. But then a lot of times they have this messianic complex, this God complex. Like, I write the songs the whole world sings. Like, who cares? Whatever, Jeff. And they can just be, it's all about them, right? Their ego needs constant feeding, constant stroking. And also, a man is only as faithful as his options, okay? But it's important to remember that we can't use a celebrity as a yardstick for regular people. And I feel like a lot of us have done that. It's like Shawn Mendes would know which fork to use at dinner. Goddamn troglodyte, right? Whatever is missing in this dynamic, we think, oh, well, Shawn Mendes would know how to do that. What are we basing that on? What are we basing that on? What he said in interviews? I've interviewed a lot of celebrities and I've given interviews, and what people say and how they present themselves is extremely curated. Do you think there's a reason that celebrities, every single one, goes through media training? They know how to speak to the press. They know what to withhold and what to give to continue to craft the image that suits them the best, right? They're not like, oh yeah, no, so I just like got done boning this girl in the bathroom. Pretty sure I gave her herpes. I came in 15 seconds. Anyway, I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Nope. Oh yeah, I'm just so excited to be here. I am on a ton of cocaine. Woo! Oh, my co-star, she was a slut. I mean, she's not because she wouldn't sleep with me, but she like, what a fat hoe, right? Cankles. They don't say these things for a reason. None of it is accidental. And I'm saying that because I don't want you to think that what you know about a celebrity is actually the truth, or even if it is the truth, it is a fragment of who they are. Who I am on this channel is a fragment of who I am. And I hate it when like I meet a guy and he'll Google me, like an ex, like he Googled me into oblivion and got scared to death of me. And I'm like, you can see how low key I am in real life. And I'm like, dude, we're all different at work. You go to work, you're not the same as you are on dates with me. Like, get the memo. But men and their little pigeon brain, it was a lot to get his head around. I couldn't do it. But we're smarter than that. We're smarter than men. So we can get our head around this. It's like, oh yeah, I actually don't know a lot about someone. There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called the halo effect. When we find someone attractive, and this is across society, and we see this in like criminal cases, whatever, privilege. When someone is attractive, we apply attractive qualities to them. I don't think that there's an inverse effect called like the devil effect, like the halo, whatever, the pitchfork effect, I guess. But if we see someone ugly or slovenly, we tend to apply negative qualities to them. It's evolutionary. It's evolutionary. You know what? It's not like society. It is truly how our caveman brain works. We see someone attractive, we deem them as more mateable, a better genetic partner, and we're going to be nicer to them because we want their genetic material if they're a man. Or if they're a female, we're still going to be nice to them because they are doing something, that entertainment social, they're doing something within the tribe that is good and we want to emulate, right? They're getting a better reaction from the rest of the tribe, so we want to try to copy that. So much of human behavior comes down to evolutionary biology. So that's interesting. But if you find yourself veering into that like celebrity stan, like not even stan, but just comparing a celebrity either to like someone you're dating or comparing yourself, I wouldn't be self-conscious if I was Kylie Jenner. If I look like Dua Lipa, I'd never have any problems. Really? What are you basing that on? Do you not read celebrity news all day long? Giselle got cheated on. Beyonce got cheated on. I've gotten cheated on. Okay? No one gets out alive. No one moves through this world with absolutely no problems, no heartbreaks, no nothing. Nobody. You know, I love Hailey Baldwin. And like, she did like a cover interview on Elle or something. She's like, I had to restrict my comments because of the hate I was getting. She's like, and it really messed me up. Like it hurt her self-esteem. It hurt her heart. And to me, I was like, what? What could someone possibly say to you that would get under your skin? You're so cool. Like, I love her. I think she's sweet and genuine and whatever. Like, again, I don't know her. She could bite the head off cats. I have no idea. But what I see, I'm like, why are people mean to you? That's crazy. But it does. It hurts you. It doesn't matter. Like, you still feel those things. So even whatever celebrity you're admiring, they've got problems of their own. True, they might not be your problems, but they do have problems of their own. And that's why we can't tear ourselves down as we admire celebrity. Don't compare yourself. Look up to them and be like, I love the way Hailey is very like goofy and vulnerable and she doesn't try to be too cool and she doesn't try to be mean. Great. I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that to inform my behavior. Great. I love how Kim Kardashian is ambitious and she goes for things and she gets out of her lane and is going to law school. Great. But don't compare yourself in a negative way. That's just going to be corrosive. And ironically, that is exactly what creates those negative categories. Borderline pathological, and what was the second one? Intense personal. We want to stay in entertainment social because we are our own celebrities. Who do we worship? The man in the mirror, baby. We worship ourselves. I want to know if you guys ever have felt like you were veering into like celebrity standom, right? Who was it? When was it? What was going on in your life that like kind of drew you to this? If you look at it, does it kind of like, do you see a pattern of like, oh, I was not a good place. How did you get out of it? Did you just kind of grow out of it? Or did you like have some sort of new data input? You read an interview with this person, you maybe saw them and they were an asshole. Or are you like, no, like I will always love, you know, Demi Lovato, but I'm not going to like live and die by what she's saying. It's just kind of like, good job. Yay. That's how I feel a bit about Pete Wentz. I will always love Fall Out Boy. It's just always going to be my favorite music. Same with My Chemical Romance. But you know, you do you. I'm doing me. I'll see you later, Shalligators. We're going to be back this week with some more videos. And like I said, if you want to join me in Mexico, go ahead and click the link down below, sign up, and I'll see you south of the border. Mwah!